Hi guys.
How's it going?
Hey,
I'm good. How are you?
what's up, girl? I'm
Doing
doing
great.
fantastic this morning. Just more like morning coffee jitters, but I'm all right.
Oh, nice.
Yo, yeah.
How many cups today? Are we talking 2 already?
Oh, just one.
Just one.
But just how sometimes it hits you just right.
I do.
Yeah, it's just getting me.
Yeah, I haven't had coffee in a while, so I had some this morning, and I'm kind of like too much energy for a rainy day.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Ashley, this is DeMarco. DeMarco, this is Ashley.
Awesome.
Hi.
Ashley, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being on the show. And I'm excited to get to know you. I don't know really much about you. So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So far, just so you know, I just told him that we went down to school together and you've interned at Boyles, but I kind of left it all open so you two can get to know. We could all just talk and get to know everybody.
Yeah, that's cool with me. Do you want me to start? Like, should I introduce myself?
Yeah, go ahead.
Smooth moves McGee.
I'm trying.
It's the coffee. We'll blame it on the coffee. It's fine.
Yeah, please, we'll do that.
Yeah, I guess I've never really done something like this, so I'll do my best.
Well, then in that case, I'll if you want, I'll just introduce. We are on this morning.
Yes, fine. You know what, Tommy? You go. You're good at this.
I'll just go ahead and do it. So, who we have on that podcast today, here on our Triple D Deadlifts? I think I forgot to tell you you need to have a dad joke. Did I leave that part out? Yeah. So you have the whole hour. We're saving it for the end because we are deadlifts, dogs, and dad jokes.
Okay. Cool. I got you.
We're just hanging around, getting to know everyone that comes in. And today, for everyone that is listening, we have a friend of mine, Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So I know Ashley. Well, we know each other from our days at Bridgewater State. Good old BSU. And Ashley is a lot like us. She's a coach up here in Massachusetts. DeMarco and Ashley have not met before, so this is going to be a good. This is pretty much just we're listening to them introducing themselves to each other. I'm not good at this. I'm realizing.
That's okay.
It's okay.
So Ashley, tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and your history, and then we'll just pull questions out of that.
Yeah, I could go like way back to the beginning, or I could just talk about the recent history, I guess.
Well, then let me ask you this. So how did you start? We met at Exercise Science, Bridgewater State. What put you on that path?
Well, I actually originally, my career was a totally different field. I really thought I was going to work for Disney. I went to an art college.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, growing up, I was super into art. Like, my whole family thought I was going to work. I even said it all the time. Like, I want to work for Disney. I was into artistry, animation, all that jazz. So I actually moved to Florida right after high school and went to college down there. Yeah, I went to Full Sail University, which is an accelerated program, extremely tough. But I had met some of the best people there. But it's ironically, so during my high school and then transitioning into my college years, I had started to get into fitness because I had lost my own weight and tried to get into bodybuilding and strength training. So while I was pursuing my art career, I was taking the time to, invest in my health and fitness. And then slowly but surely, I was catching myself in the lectures. Mind you, these lectures are like 8 hours long. I would just be in the lectures and researching about muscles and exercise routines and what I should be knowing to build my body the way I want to. And then one day I was just sitting in class and I was doing this research, and I remember hearing my professor say, there's going to be times where you're doing this career and, there's parts where you don't like, but for the most part, you should be enjoying this. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't stand this. I'm really good at it, but I cannot do this for a career.
Yep.
I'm paying to go to this class just to sit here and not pay attention and research fitness.
Yeah.
So I stepped out and I started crying. I was like,
wow.
I messed up so bad. I was like, I'm in the wrong field.
So you're in Florida realizing this is not what you wanted.
Yeah.
At what, 19?
Yes, actually, I had already, technically this was my sophomore, junior year because it's an accelerated program, so you get a bachelor's in 2 years.
Oh,
dang! Wow.
Yeah. So halfway into it, I'm like, I just wasted a lot of money, but it was worth it because I just right there and there I knew right then and there I was in the wrong field and I wanted to pursue fitness. I dropped out the next day.
That takes guts. Good for you.
No kidding.
Yeah, but otherwise, like after that, I just dove head into like fitness and health, and I went into like the personal training route. I got my certification. I then transferred to a community college to get some basics out of the way. And I started working at a gym. Like immediately, I went to a gym nearby, and I was like, "Are you guys hiring?" And they're like, "Yes, we are." I was like, "Great, can you interview me?" And
Awesome.
I just started working right away. I worked my way from front desk to personal training, and it was great. I learned from a lot of cool people. Obviously, I moved back to Massachusetts, though.
Yes, you have.
Yes, and then through many different colleges later on, I went to BSU to pursue exercise science because I knew that having a cert was nice, but I wasn't as competitive without a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that is true.
Yeah, and so that's when I went to Bridgewater. And then one day I told the classroom I don't have any friends, and Tom was like, "I'll be your friend."
Quite literally.
Literally. Literally, Tom was like, "I'll be your friend," and that's how we met. But otherwise, like it really started with my own fitness journey, and then it just was a snowball. I got into weight loss, and then I got into powerlifting, which is I competed in USAPL, I think, when I was 20.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that either. I'm learning so much about you still.
I was so into powerlifting. I fell in love with it. I wanted to get stronger. I didn't really care about weight loss anymore, and I competed in USAPL in Orlando.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. So this was all like, so in this time frame from when you like got into school, realized, so Florida, you moved to Florida, went to school, realized that this isn't what you want to do while competing in USAPL. Is this all happening in like a year and a half?
Yes.
Okay. So
I went full speed ahead.
Cocoon burst. You just screw it. I'm out of my shell.
Yeah, basically. And I had a lot of support. People were always supportive of me. Like they were like, "You can do whatever you set your mind to." My friends would show up at the meet. Yeah, everyone was so kind, and it really helped a lot because when you're in an environment where people are questioning you or your decisions, it's really hard. Like when I told my parents I didn't want to do art, and I told them I wanted to do training, they were not happy. They were like, "You can't make a career out of that."
They let you do well.
I know. Ironically enough, they said,
"You can't make a career out of training. Go back to art school."
Yeah. Well, their idea was I am so totally working for Disney. Like they really thought it was going to happen, but that's because I told them that. But yeah, so I went full speed ahead. I had a lot of support. My friends are great. They showed up to my meets and everything. But it was a very tough time too because I had done everything so quickly, and I was still so new to exercise science that I definitely messed up. I don't know if I could swear, but I messed up.
Oh no, you can swear. Just don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like cable. Like until you get like 3 shits an hour until like they start getting.
Okay.
Plus, you're the guest, so we're here to listen to you.
Yeah, we get free reign. DeMarco's the one with the baby. He can't swear.
Yeah, but he's asleep in the other room, so we're okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll keep that note in mind. So basically I fucked my shit up and I hurt my back really badly.
Ooh, okay.
Which was a week before the meet.
Oh, God. Oh.
A week before the meet, I totally hurt myself really badly.
I don't mean to interrupt. So is this your first meet?
Yep.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was pushing intensity and volume, and this is right before I tapered. I did something that did not feel good, and I had sciatica, low back pain, hip pain. It was just super unbearable. And somehow, though, the day of the meet, I think adrenaline really kicked in, and I had no pain whatsoever. I went into that meet like on a runner's high, 3 hours of sleep. I don't know why I said runner's high, but endorphins running like crazy.
Sure. Yeah. No,
and I went through just fine. I deadlifted, I squatted, I bench pressed, and I had no pain the next day. And then once that died down, I was definitely struggling because the pain had come back. And then that triggered a lot of anxiety for me. Actually, it was so bad. I went to the ER like 3 times because I thought I was dying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, anxiety manifests in different ways for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely like heart. I really thought like my chest was hurting. It was just like my heart would be racing just sitting there watching Netflix all the time. I would shut down in the middle of like training with the client. I would run to the bathroom and just cry, and I just get this weird tingling sensations. It was crazy. So I moved back home, and I had back pain and hip pain for almost a year and a half because nobody could help me. Nobody.
Ooh,
I had seen everything.
Right. Okay. So is this? Oh, sorry. So when we met, how old were you? So when we met, how was that? How far? What's the words I'm trying to think of? How long was that between like you like hurting your back, coming back and up, to coming back up here to us meeting at Bridgewater State?
I want to say that was in my when I was 20, maybe 2021.
Okay.
That year.
Okay.
I had gotten the injury when I was in Florida, and I actually seen a really famous chiropractor. This is before he got famous, but he was the only person who could help me.
I remember this conversation. We have talked
about this, a little bit. Yeah, his name was Dr. Jacob Harden. You might know him on Instagram. He's pretty popular.
Absolutely,
now.
Yeah.
So
I like
he
him.
was my chiro when I was down there because I didn't have insurance, and he was kind enough to really help me out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he did help me a little bit, but because I moved back home to Massachusetts, I couldn't see him anymore. And I tried every physical therapist, chiropractor, licensed massage therapist. I even saw a neurologist because I could barely sit down or walk without pain. For a whole year and a half, I just was constantly in pain. And then someone had told me to check out Clinical Athlete, which I don't know if you guys, what's his name? I'm forgetting now. But anyways, so I don't drag it out.
I remember it now. Yeah, I'm on the same thing. It's like it's right there.
Yeah, the name is Quinn Hennick.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So he created Clinical Athlete, and I searched through there and I looked for someone that could help me because I heard a lot of great things about them. And I found a coach in Rhode Island. His name's Henry. And he was the only person to give me relief within the first hour of meeting him. And I knew right then and there, awesome. I was like, this is it. This is the person that's going to help me. So he gave me an awesome deal, and we just worked with each other for probably a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years.
Yeah, I think, not to interrupt you, but I feel like, sorry, I'm just starting to remember this now.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this. This was like the birth of our friendship. Just so everyone kind of gets a good timeline.
Yeah, because I don't usually tell people this story because it's kind of lengthy, but I'm trying to.
We're here for. This is what we're here for. DeMarco's probably going to be loaded with questions after this, so this is fantastic.
Yeah, you're fine. Take your time. You're under no time limit or anything. You're good. Tell your story how you want to tell it.
Thank you so much. So I had met Henry, and he had showed me that I wasn't broken and that I could move well, and I just needed to learn how to do that again. Mm-hmm. And there was definitely, because of the pain for so long and the anxiety issues, I actually do have generalized anxiety disorder. It's been diagnosed. Mm-hmm. And like all that combined, he really like showed me step by step how to move pain free again. And with strength, it wasn't like a rehab setting. I was still doing my lunges, my squats, and like I was still be able to lift. I just learned how to do it right, I guess.
Yeah, and absolutely.
After the first 6 months, I had definitely gained a lot of confidence back. But after the first year was when I was like, yes, I'm strong again. I feel strong again. And he had opened my eyes to a whole world of movement that I didn't see before. Like I had taken my certs and I've done other courses and learned from other people, and even Instagram, like you see information floating around all the time.
Of course.
But when I worked with him, he had showed me that everything is connected in a certain way. And a lot of what's out there, which, not to say in an egotistical way, but a lot of what's out there is actually not false, but misinterpreted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Like just the things that we like monster walks don't fix glutes. Glutes are not broken. You know, it's like stretching isn't going to be like all those things. I've done them all before and it didn't work. And then I finally understood why it didn't work. And because of that, I just dove headfirst into what his principles and like his knowledge was, which was based on PRI, which is the Postural Restoration Institute.
That's right. Okay. That's what I know. I follow that page. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I think I recommended the page to DeMarco based off your recommendation.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. They've gotten a lot more popular ever since I first learned about them. At least maybe that's because I'm diving into it myself, so it's all I see.
It's all because of you, I bet. Or just
no. I wish I had that kind of influence, but do not. I'm too much of an introvert to have that influence.
Fair.
Yeah, so I dove into that world, and ever since then I've just had a better understanding. And even like today I'm still constantly learning because it's such a complex, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very complex in a sense. Like I learned the basics of like, you know, human movement and patterns and what and how the body is, you know, works. But then like there's a lot more to it. There's the visual aspect. There's a movement from the head jaw aspect and how that influences things down the chain. So like as I'm learning more about it and I think I know more, I end up realizing there's still so much more to learn.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is that? The Dunning-Kruger effect?
Something like that. Yeah. I was actually, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm just constantly learning, and I've even just finished a course by Connor Harris who kind of takes a lot of PRI's principles and explains it in a more, I guess, a holistic idea, which it like pairs PRI with gait and motion of the human body and breath work and stuff like that. So that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, I've always been one to say, like, if you can control the breath, your breath, you can control anything, and that's emotions, movement, like anything. Like if you can control your breathing throughout situations, you can do anything. Is it kind of along the same lines, like same broad spectrum kind of thought process?
Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with breathing, definitely. And there's a big influence on the way we breathe. We take over 20,000 breaths a day. That's one of the biggest things that you learn up here, right? You take over 20,000 breaths a day. And most of the time, people aren't taking that breath very correctly. Not correctly, but not optimally.
Optimally, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's really nothing like wrong or right. Like everything is variable.
Yep. It's really kind of, just to pull out of the story for a second, like it's kind of cool when you have 3 people on one that literally think the same way by accident.
Yeah, it is. And like it's the same way, but different perspectives, which is really nice.
Yeah, same, but different.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the breath is definitely really important. It's not so much air itself, but how we get air in and out. How are we doing that? Are we hyperventilating? Are we taking short breaths? Are we breathing through our mouth, through our nose? Are you breathing into your chest or your upper back? Like belly breathing, that's huge now, which our lungs are not in our stomach. So it's not as optimal as people think it is.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot I've learned, and I'm really proud of myself with the way I've learned these things, but I still have a long ways to go. And I think most people do, as we're still figuring things out all the time. But so I've essentially moved from fat loss to body recomposition to strength, and now then I learned to like more about I don't want to say posture, but moving out of pain, or trying to move in a way that doesn't hurt someone, or helping people move well without pain. And now I've gotten this weird blend of fat loss, but doing it pain-free and a little bit of body recomposition. So my target market has gotten a little all over the place. Yeah. But I'm happy to have all of those tools under my belt because I can help more people that way.
That's fantastic. So where are you working out of now?
So as of right now, I work at a gym in Fall River called General Fitness.
General Fitness?
Yeah, it's a really popular bodybuilding gym. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so fantastic.
I was working at Crunch, which is a corporate gym. Most people know by now, but anybody who knows, that's only a starting place. And
Yeah, fantastic starting places. Commercial gyms are fantastic starting
They're
places.
great. Yeah.
I'll agree. Yeah.
You learn so much. You get a lot of experience and repetitions. But it's not an end all be all. You definitely want to get your way out of there because a lot of it's really salesy, pushing, stuff like that. It's really uncomfortable for the trainer itself. It's not so much the trainer who wants to push sales. It's, the corporate above, which I get it. They're just trying to do business. Not that I'm agreeing with it, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
The world we live in.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't believe I have disclosed to DeMarco about yourself is when I think of you, I think of your nutritional journey. Because when me and you first met, you were full blown vegan. You were.
I was.
Yeah, you were like nearly like fully freaking vegan, But I'm glad you got that one. Not so much anymore. So I'm really interested in hearing about like a little bit of your nutritional journey, because that is one realm I do not have as much of a grasp on as I would like. Okay. So I'm fully interested in listening to you and your journey and what you've picked up and put down.
Yeah, absolutely. Nutrition has been another passion of mine. I'm actually thinking I've taken a lot of physical courses. Nutrition is one I want to take more courses on. I just don't know the right place to go to yet. My nutrition journey has been a very interesting one. With most people who start on a health and fitness journey, you learn how to eat healthy. Problem is you have to weed your way through a lot of the fad diets, the BS. And then because usually people are trying to lose weight, especially women, eating disorders develop.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I will admit, I definitely had my fair share of eating disorders. Started off really healthy, right? And then I worked my way to orthorexia. I didn't even know I had this at the time, but as I reflected and looked back at orthorexia, which for anyone who doesn't know, it is a form of eating where you are so obsessed with eating clean and healthy foods, or clean and healthy, whatever that's deemed to be, that you no longer allow yourself to enjoy other foods, or when you do, you become so obsessive and it almost ruins your day. So for example, my dad, I was cooking brown rice one day and I had caught my dad. I stepped away from the kitchen and I came back and caught my dad drizzling oil in my rice, and I freaked. I yelled at him. I got into a huge fight. I was like, how dare you do that to my rice? Like, you're sabotaging my health because you put, like, it was stupid things like that. Well, it wasn't at the time, but so that's kind of how it started. And then obviously I was losing weight doing this way. And then eventually there were some personal issues at home. And so I started to lean more towards anorexia, which is where I was just starving myself. And that's just a form of control, really, is what I was doing. And most people know this by now too. It's more control oriented. When your life is spiraling out of control, what do? You try to control what you can. And the easiest way to do that is through food. What goes in and out, you have all control of that. And then my sister actually was the one who pulled me out of this hole. She introduced to me flexible dieting, which most people know by now too, which essentially learning.
Big fan.
I like flexible dieting. I think it's a great approach for somebody who doesn't really know much about nutrition or is trying to get out of, eating disorder ways.
Absolutely.
I learned about macronutrients and how it actually fuels the body, and what I should be like looking for in food, and less about like good and bad foods and more about just nutrients in general, how they are made and what kind of fuel they provide your body. I learned that protein is necessary for a lot of essential functions in the body, especially muscle building. Carbs is essential for energy as well as fats. It just depends on what type of energy you are.
Right.
Exactly. And so then I learned, I got out of my eating disorder ways, but then this vegan boom, I don't even know how I got into it. All I know is it just exploded, and I saw YouTubers doing it. I watched documentaries. They scared the shit out of me. And
we could have a whole conversation about documentaries.
As they do, because that's what documentaries do.
And then unfortunately, I realize this now is no matter how good the documentary seems, all of them are biased. Every single one of them.
Yes, it's like I don't have to speak. Just go ahead, continue.
Even the ones that I like everything has its own bias and agenda.
It's entertainment.
It is. It's a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Granted, some are better than others, but
True.
Of course.
I definitely I went and I learned about like all this terrible things that are, and it's true. Like the way that animals treated in the agricultural industry is terrible.
Yes, it is.
It was a very sustainable focus for me, as well as, I thought it was the healthier way to eat more plants and less meat, because meat was like a toxic to the body, whatever, stuff like that. And then I realized after 4 years.
You were vegan for 4 years.
4 years, yeah. And at first, like going vegan helped a lot of with me. Like I had some stomach issues, and it really helped clear that out in the beginning. But midway, something started happening where I was experiencing brain fog, and then a little bit of hair loss, and then
interesting.
menstrual cycle irregularities. My vision wasn't the same. Like little things started popping up, and then I had certain autoimmune conditions pop up. So I'm just like slowly but sure, they all like one after the other started stacking, and then I started learning about how it's actually not that sustainable. Right? There's a way to still eat animals and remain sustainable, which is through regenerative agricultural or small farms that take care and feed their animals properly. And then I learned that meat is actually really healthy for the body. It provides so many essential nutrients, and that, you really need it. Like I thought it was just iron. And then I realized there was so much more to it. There's iron, there's minerals, and there's so much more. And I realized like people posting these things like broccoli has 100,000% of calcium. And I'm like, but how much of that is available to your body versus drinking it from, or taking it from yogurt and milk? That's granted, a lot of it's fortified too, but like bones, sardine bones, like the little, you can eat that, that's calcium, way more available to the body. Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, the small fishies, like maybe like small mackerel or small sardines, if you eat those bones, it's a great source of calcium. Just not the big ones, because then you'll choke and hurt yourself. But
sure, yeah.
The little ones.
So don't eat a whole tuna. All right, heard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Be careful with that. But
I should probably stop that. All right.
Yeah.
I think I see one right there. I'm just kidding.
Don't swallow the swordfish whole.
Oh my God, no.
I could do a cool trick with it though.
I'm a little scared to see the trick.
It was a sword swallowing joke.
Oh, nice, gotcha.
Yeah. I can't do that. Don't ask me to do that.
Okay. And then I realized like there's so many more nutrients in meat and fish, and like I never was aware of. And I'm like, well, screw this. And then I found out that a lot of, soy-based products and wheat-based products results in monocropping, or is not resulting in it, but adding to monocropping, which ends up ruining the soils. Yeah. So when you monocrop, you lose the soil's nutrients. It actually kills the soil, and you can no longer use it.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
I'm learning so much.
Yeah. So I had learned about that, and I was like, holy shit, here I am thinking I'm doing better. And then I'm possibly only feeding to the harmful things. Granted, I'm sure that, not everything that's soy or whatever based is damaging. Most of the monocropping and soy cropping is for animal feed, conventional animal feeding.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I didn't want to add to it. And then I realized that, those things at the time were not good for my gut.
Right.
So I started exploring with eating meat again. And
has everything kind of, while you were doing, I don't mean to pry, but like, so how has introducing meat back into your diet kind of changed the way you've been doing things, the way you've been feeling, etc.?
Yeah, so my brain fog has gotten tremendously better. I don't really have it anymore, and I'm wondering if that's from creatine and meat.
I do love me some creatine.
Yeah, creatine is really important for cognitive health. It's not just for fitness, but cognitive health. And then I noticed that my gut was handling that a lot better than all the fiber from foods that are plant-based.
Good.
And then interestingly enough, I had developed a zinc and copper deficiency while I was vegan, despite having a dietitian and a doctor checking my levels and working with me, because I wanted to be sure I did it right. Yeah. And I was supplementing, and for some reason, even with the supplements for a year, both levels were still dropping, and then I had meat, and it all went back to normal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really weird, and I was like, whoa. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And even my skin has just improved. Overall, I think my body's improved. But I've also done a lot of other things to make sure that my health is optimized. I think overall, it was definitely like I just like felt this lethargy and like noticing these little aches and pains and issues that just kept popping up. And over time, like at first it's like a little thing, but when it starts adding up, it's like it's a nuisance. It's really actually hindering a lot of things. And I was so sick and tired of spending money on supplements that weren't even working because my body was just not absorbing it. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize. Like, I'm not saying veganism is bad or I'm like eating meat.
Yeah, of course.
But essentially, I think people need to figure out what works for them. And maybe at the time, veganism at first was great for me because I did feel really good. But it eventually didn't, it wasn't long lasting for me. I realized that I could eat meat, and just what I learned from me is just eating a lot more vegetables than people think or say that you need. Like a solid 10 servings a day is what we actually mostly really need.
Yeah, like the average, like from what I've read a few things where like the average human, well, the average person feels like they're getting enough. And when inspected into their diet, when they think they're getting enough, they actually need at least double.
Yeah, I
Something
say
along those
triple.
lines.
I'm most of the time when I'm working with fat loss clients, they're probably getting like 1 to 2 servings of vegetables a day, if that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like the average Gen Pop person who's trying to lose weight or never has had success doing it, they zero understanding of basic nutrition, and they think corn is a vegetable. They think avocado and edamame is a vegetable. It's not. It's a great healthy food, but it's not a vegetable. So like I definitely work with a lot of the basic stuff, but I have a really good understanding, at least I think I do, of the more advanced things. And I think that helps me a lot with my clients. I know that I at least have a very good understanding of the basics, but if I wanted to push someone a little further over the edge with me more advanced stuff, I could. And it has come in handy. So with my vegan diet, and I even had IBS that was blowing up. I had SIBO. I've had it twice, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. That wasn't fun.
No, not at all. Damn, girl.
No.
You've had a journey.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple. You've had physical, you've had nutritional, you've had a journey.
Yeah, and it's mental, like all of it. It's been tough, but it's been a great learning lesson. And because of that, I feel like I can have a little more compassion with my clients. Like I understand where they're coming from. I actually had one client recently who she's fairly thin, but she had SIBO, and she felt like she was crazy because on Instagram and social media, girls have made it normalized to bloat, and bloating is indeed normal after heavy meals, but there's a certain point when bloating is not normal. Bloating and pain and discomfort all day long, or just like a constant, like if you wake up and you bloated, that is not normal.
Yeah, that's not normal.
It's not normal, but because of the way that, and it's not necessarily, I'm like, the movement is very, like, it's great. It's awesome. Normalizing that bodies are not 6-pack abs all the time.
Right.
But then there's a context that's missing from that like people put this out there, but they fail to mention that, by the way,
go ahead, continue.
If you are waking up this way and you're having discomfort, that's also not normal.
Yes.
There's so much, the problem with social media is there's so much context missing.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
So
and
much.
That's the problem with like the vegan diet. Like there's so much iron in spinach and broccoli, you don't need meat. I'm like, well, there is a lot of iron. That's true, but that iron isn't as bioavailable to the body. So it's all these things can have a lot of benefits, but it's a matter of how available is that to me and how does that fit my body? Like there's certain people that do really well on keto and low carb. There's a lot of people that just do not do well on those diets. Well, actually, I'd argue a lot of people don't do well on that.
I feel like most people, they may feel good, but most people don't, unless they have like celiac disease or they have some type of autoimmune disorder. Like they just
Exactly. And like gluten-free diets are really probably like, gluten isn't bad. It's bad if you are gluten intolerant and have a celiac disease. Otherwise, like it's normal in everyone's diet.
Yeah. As far as speaking of gluten, fun fact that I've learned. So people that are, gluten intolerant when they have bread, over here in the United States, they can have it. It has to be gluten free. But then I've heard like if they go over to Europe or they have one of like bread from Europe, nothing gluten-free or anything, they are perfectly fine.
Yes.
So I think it can go I think it goes a little bit deeper than simply just being, this is all theory, by the way, taken from that result. I think it has a little bit more to do with how we are cropping our grains, how we are actually putting them together, how we are mass processing our bread. Compared to how like Europe does it. So I feel like this is something that is homegrown rather than something that's biological.
Yes, and I definitely looked into that too because I had heard a lot of the same things. And even when I was in Azores or Portugal, I had noticed. Hey, when I visit my family, sometimes I lose weight when I'm there, and then there's a lot of bread, there's a lot of cookies, and there's no lack of that substance over there. But it definitely felt fine there. And there's two things to consider when that happens. Is one, most of the time when you're leaving the States and going to Europe, you're on vacation, right? So you're on vacation, low stress, you're not necessarily, thinking about work. You're in a much more relaxed state. So you might be able to handle those foods a lot better as well. There's a less autoimmune response or inflammatory response because you're physically in a better state. But there's also the idea, like you said, how is wheat being grown and processed? What is on our products and substances like certain pesticides? Like what is going on there for people to be so reactant here versus when they're out of the country? So I definitely think it's another multifactorial thing. I don't know enough about it. I haven't done as much research lately because I've been so focused on the movement aspect. But I do remember trying to learn about it, and there's a couple things that I keep in mind when it comes to gluten or bread and when in America versus outside America. Those are the two things I think of: is how is a person's physical state, mental state, as well as their biological reaction to the foods, as well as the way things are done in America, which I don't really know entirely.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, damn. I feel like I've just been kind of dominating. Like, DeMarco, do you have like questions we could throw in? I mean, because we're going to get into like your nerddom. We're going to get into like you, girl. But
DeMarco, I feel like I've done nothing but talk the whole time.
I know. I want to give your introverted self a break.
I just want to thank you for opening up and talking about, your experiences. Obviously, you had a huge life change, many huge life changes with obviously a total 180 on your education and career. And you had your pretty severe injury. I mean, that's pretty bad. That definitely, that kind of pain sucks. And when something as simple as sitting down and getting up off of a chair hurts, that's not fun, especially when you're as young as you are. So that's obviously another challenge to overcome. I think you are right though that your experiences, you have a wide range of experience as far as strength and injury, rehab coming back, the nutrition stuff. I kudos to you for doing the vegan lifestyle for 4 years to really commit to it and see if it works for you. I can tell that you're very analytical, and I can tell that you try really hard to be impartial when it comes to, a certain diet or, a certain philosophy. Like you were very quick to talk about what the benefits for the vegan diet were for you initially, but then also what some of the drawbacks were. So I love it when people are willing to kind of step back and take a more objective look at issues. So that's kind of the main thing I wanted to mention.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really kind of you. It's something I've actually been working on. I used to be very dogmatic, or like,
of course,
one way. This is the philosophy. This is it. I figured it out. I know the secret sauce.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I realized life just does not work that way. There's no black and whites. It's a bunch of grays.
Yeah. And and obviously
way more than 50 shades. There's way more than 50 shades.
Way more than 50 shades. That's right. And you've experienced it like we all have, actually. There's such a comfort in embracing a rigid set of rules. If you're told just follow this diet or follow this workout plan or do this and you'll get all of your results, there's a simplicity to it, which is exciting and attractive. And people like that oversimplification, and to the point of obviously being very, very rigid and very restrictive, which is why Whole30, keto, Atkins, a lot of these diets are popular. And we can save this for another day, but you've obviously noticed, just like we have, that a lot of these are really just recycled versions of one another. Like people are so excited about the ketogenic diet. It's basically just Atkins, like that was around in like the 90s when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, it's just really funny how, you slap a new label on it, but it's the same product, more or less. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely what's happening. It's just constant recycling of the same information.
Mm-hmm.
It's just rebranded all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with fitness.
Yeah, and I think your background is cool too as far as strength goes. You were interested in like bodybuilding and more kind of physique kind of training, that kind of stuff. And you got more so into powerlifting, more go versus show, and that kind of a focus. Do you find that you kind of work on both now? I know you said pain-free movement is your number one priority, which is mine as well. That's my priority for all of my clients. Like before we even talk about, fat loss or building a bench press or whatever is we got to get you moving, not in pain.
Right. I mean, that's the problem too, is like most people think that, everything's just fat loss, work harder, do this, eat less. But
yeah,
as you train clients, I'm sure you guys both have realized like people are in pain all the time. They just don't talk about it until someone asks them. It's like, oh, how'd that feel? Oh, that was good. I feel in my legs. I really felt that in my low back. And then they're like, oh, you're like really interesting. Like, yeah, I've always had back issues, or, I have weak ankles. It runs in the family. Like this constant, like they just accepted these things. And
like it is the way it is. It can never be fixed. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely one of the most frustrating interactions, obviously, when you have with a client, is they don't tell you about the pain, or they don't tell you about, you go to do a strength workout or like a HIIT workout or something, and they don't tell you that they ran 5 miles before they got to the gym and their legs are cooked.
Yeah.
And like, okay, cool. Today's supposed to be a heavy squat, or we'll say high volume squat day, and their legs are buckling. You're like, what the heck happened? We just got started. Like, oh, I ran like 5 or 6 miles before this and I haven't eaten breakfast. And you're like,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
The breakfast one's my favorite. The breakfast one's my favorite.
Yeah. Same breakfast one. It's like, they're just going through the workout. They're like, I feel really gassed right now. I don't know why. I'm like, when was the last time you eaten? I'm like, yesterday. I'm like, I don't have eaten today. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock.
And to be fair, I'm gonna try to be like you, Ashley, and be objective. I have a 13-week-old baby now, so I am definitely have been that guy showing up to my workouts with my coach Sean, and I don't feel my best. Sometimes it's due to sleep disturbances, but then it's also quite literally forgetting to eat and showing up and going, oh shit, I'm definitely not. This is not going to happen today.
Yeah.
So I've also been that person too. So just
to be fair. No, I'm same here. I really like training fasted. I got used to it because
cool.
I worked at a sports gym. After my internship at Boyles, I worked at a very similar gym, and I had to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And trust me, I was not hungry in the morning.
That's early. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. Oh. So I definitely see both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, that's right. You had an internship at Boyle. Wow, there is so much for us to talk about. We might need a second one because we haven't even gotten into
I know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You also have a Marvel fandom, right?
What is it?
Are you like a fan of Marvel?
Big fan.
Or did I make that up? Yeah.
No, big fan.
Like I said.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sean's also on this podcast with us. He was just busy for the day today.
Oh.
He couldn't make it. Sean has a Captain America tattoo on his shoulder. Like a full shield. Like he had DeMarco's big into Marvel. Like we all are. We're all nerdy. Like
when I first started at that gym, that's actually one of the reasons I hired him as my coach. So he I already saw that he was a great coach. That was the number one thing. But he was like just cleaning up after sessions, just going the extra mile. And I noticed things like that. And I was really immediately got me into what he was doing. And then I saw him working out in a tank top and he had the shield on his shoulder. I'm like, this is my guy. And our first year of training was the year leading up to Avengers Endgame being released. So basically every session was just talking about what's going to happen. Is Ant-Man going to get out of the quantum realm? Like just all of that stuff and digging into it and going down the rabbit hole of all the fun fan theories, is Vision going to come back, and all that fun stuff. So we were just nerding out hard.
Oh my God. And I watched the WandaVision recently.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I haven't even started that yet. I know. I'm terrible.
It's okay. I still haven't watched a couple of Marvel series either, so I'm
Okay, good. All right, I feel
No,
less.
I'm behind as well. I haven't seen a single episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier yet. So
oh my god, I got asked
that's
that
right.
today. I really want to watch that. I need
Yeah.
to watch it.
I
I've
forgot
gotta
about
catch up
that.
on
I need to
those.
do that too.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. We could all catch up together sometime.
There we go. I will say
absolutely.
I've actually went through, and obviously Disney Plus is awesome because it's like $7 a month or whatever. But I've
Disney.
seen all the Marvel movies, obviously like you both have. I have had fun doing a rewatch, but watching them in timeline order. So as far as like when the movie takes place. So in this, instead of the phases you watch, it's Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Thor, and then you watch.
I think is after that one.
Oh no, let me back up. Captain Marvel
Captain's
comes first. Captain Marvel's earlier because it takes place in the 90s.
Yeah,
Hers is second. You have to watch Cap. You have to watch Cap first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Captain. Excuse me.
Cap's World War II.
America, and then Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing that doesn't fully tie in is obviously the end sequence with her showing up looking for Fury, because that's not till the Infinity War. But it's fun. It's kind of cool.
Interesting.
There's so much foreshadowing in that first Captain that I didn't even realize it.
Really?
So much.
I forgot all of, like, I hadn't seen that movie in like 10 years. I forgot all about the fact that Red Skull was actually using the Tesseract and actually took the energy and was using that for the weapons. I had totally forgotten all about that. So it was almost like watching the movie again, for the first time. So
today's a rainy day. Sounds like a great idea for all of us.
There we go.
I'm down for that. Same thing with Captain. Like, I forgot Tony Stark's dad is the one that originally made the shield.
Right.
Stark, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And
I rewatched it with something.
Yeah. So full nerddom over here. Ashley, you may appreciate this as well. Me and Sean also bullied DeMarco into watching The Office for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I marathoned it. I watched it from beginning to end, and my wife, she has watched it off and on, and I think by season 3 or 4 she was kind of like, this is okay. But I was definitely, as the seasons went on, I was getting more and more into it. Was really, really developing strong opinions about characters. I kept texting. I mean, how many times did I text you, Tommy, about how much I hate Ryan, and I just want Ryan to I couldn't stand his. He's a great actor. I love him, but his character was just annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah, we really need we need that Office episode. Like, we haven't had that Office recap of things you loved, and when we do, Ashley, you are more than invited.
I'm an Office fan, but I've never actually. I'm kind of like your wife. I've watched it kind of on and off. I've never watched the full thing, season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? And I've never watched it straight through.
All right, Ashley, it was nice having you on.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I will say this.
I'm kidding.
It's a lot. What is it, Tommy's at 9 seasons?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but the episodes are so short that I would watch, sometimes 3 or 4 episodes in a night, before I went to bed. So they're very crushable. So.
I will say this is so bad because we pay for Netflix. I haven't watched Netflix in a solid 2 months, or just anything. Like, last night I watched Brexit for the first time. Like, probably the first thing I've watched in a long time. I've just been so busy, and then when I finally have downtime, I'm just like, my brain.
You're down.
My brain just doesn't want to do it. But now that things are starting to calm down, I think I could afford to watch some.
I go back and forth though, so I understand that I go through periods where, so when I was binging The Office, and that's all I did at night was watch The Office, and I got really into it, and then I watched Mandalorian, which we can go down that rabbit hole later. But I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, but I'll watch 2 or 3 shows straight up. Like, I watched New Girl. I watched all of New Girl afterwards because Tommy recommended that. But then I won't watch TV for a month or 2, and I'll just read a bunch of books. I can't find the balance. I either just read a bunch of books and watch no TV, or do nothing but watch TV and read no books. And it's just I'm such a, I feel like so many people are like that. We're so obsessive. We obsess over something and just dive in head first and just forsake everything else.
Oh my God, I could not relate to that more. I definitely am guilty of doing that. And I remember reading somewhere it's actually not a healthy thing to do. Like it's something with to do with anxiety and control, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've at this point I've accepted it and I just call it ebbs and flows. You know, when that moment happens where I'm just diving into it, I just take advantage of it because I know I'm gonna focus a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that moment comes where I like to binge, I'm just binging on TV shows and relaxing, I usually take those moments to apply the things I learned versus constantly trying to learn about something new. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
with you there. I've just
well, I can relate to you because when you said that you were diagnosed with generalized anxiety, my ears perked up because I actually was too. I think 3 or 4
Really?
years now.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. I was on for a brief period of time. I took meds for it, but I was fortunately able to get off of them and was able to, which I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending this for everybody. Obviously, every case is unique, but through drinking more water, getting enough sleep, exercise, eating better, I was able to, and stress management, obviously, I was able to cope with it. But that is something I noticed for myself too, is I always, if I get into something, I get really into something and I just like dive in head first. And I've been that way for the 31 years that I've been alive. So I don't think that's
awesome. Yeah. I know I can totally relate to that there. And the same thing, like I've had the medication before. I don't know about you. I would like to ask you this though. And for me personally, when I tried to take it, I had a terrible reaction the first time. It made me worse. Mm-hmm. The second time I felt like a zombie. Yeah, like all the time I just felt lifeless. I just feel like I wasn't really there. And then I saw a therapist and I learned, like you, like certain strategies of life and how to actually get out of that and maintain a healthier mental headspace.
No, that's great too. And I mean, going to therapy, I think everybody should go to therapy, by the way. I don't think there's so many reasons why we should all be going to see someone. It's like coaches. I think we all need a coach too.
Yes.
Yeah. The first time I took it, it actually helped a lot because we were in a heavy transition phase. My wife and I were actually moving from Mississippi to Massachusetts.
Whoa.
So she had just graduated medical school and we were moving here for her medical residency. And so it was a lot going on. We were, we had recently gotten married. We were moving. I was honestly 50-50 on whether or not I was going to stay in the fitness industry. I didn't know if I was going to keep on going. I was a bit burnt out at the time. Was kind of not really going anywhere at that phase. So there was a lot of stress, like from the move and everything. So this is where I'm going to be objective and be honest. The meds really helped me during that initial 3 to 4 month period. It helped kind of level me out. I was able to kind of focus and really get established at work. And then when I ran out, I just didn't get the refill. And I tried a refill, I think maybe a year later, and they just didn't do anything. I didn't need them anymore. It was cool. It was just an empowering feeling. I was taking them and it was kind of like eating a Flintstones vitamin. I was like, and it didn't taste good, so I didn't even get that benefit. I was like, oh yeah, cool. I guess I'm good. So
that is awesome though. When you're like, you know what? I'll put you back down. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah. And again, for anybody out there watching that is dealing with any kind of diagnosis where you are taking medication, please listen to the advice of your doctor, doctor, psychiatrist, medical professionals. That's for myself, N equals 1. I'm one subject. Don't take what I'm saying and apply that to you unless it does apply to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially. Yeah. I think, sure. It's valuable definitely to learn how to see if you can get off medication. Cause like that way you're more resilient. You don't have to rely on anything but yourself, but definitely seek your doctor, talk to them first. I have a client who takes her meds and her world is rocked. She's totally fine. She just takes her pill and she's happy with it.
And some people need it. Truly there are certain, obviously, disorders or diagnoses that you have where that is the only viable option. So right. I don't want this to come off as like an anti-pharma type thing. Drugs are good in the right circumstance for sure.
Yeah. and
drugs are good.
Drugs are good. Okay.
Oh man, that's the other thing about fitness is like now everything's healthy and natural. Like, oh my God, drugs are terrible for you. You shouldn't rely on anything. It's like, listen, guys, we live in a world where nothing is the same anymore. Supplements are okay. Modern medicine has helped us live longer, more fruitful lives. Well, maybe certain contexts.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like there's a time for antibiotics and there's a time to take your ginger tea, you know? There's a time for everything. So
Absolutely.
if you need your meds and you're really struggling, take it. That's probably what you need.
Absolutely.
I think if people are just like so like anti this and that, it's become a big problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like do you need your Tylenol or do you need a nap? Like, which one is it in that aspect? And at the same time, it's like you should probably go see a doctor before your appendix explodes.
Or, you know, like you were talking about, you know, before actually talking about proper movement patterns, you know, hey, my back always hurts after I do this, after say a deadlift or a squat. How do you deadlift and squat? That a lot of times, you know, again, an injury is an injury. If you've taken it to the point where there's a, bulging disc or a slip disc or something, you know, it's an injury. Obviously, you got to go get it treated or whatever. But if we can look at the movement and there's an issue with the movement, something that's, like you said, not optimal, we can fix that. A lot of times you can get these people out of pain and they don't have to go, go get these crazy treatments. You know, a lot of people are very quick to want to, a lot of people like the surgical solution, you know, that they tend to like that solution. And it's like, well, if you don't address the root cause, then a lot of times that's just a Band-Aid approach anyway. You're going to get back to where you were anyway, you know? So.
Yeah. And I find that, on top of that, like I find that people who, not to say that, you know, surgery is terrible, but I've more often than not, the people that I've worked with that have gone under the knife and done like a spinal fusion or something along those lines, it actually leads to more compensations down the line and it creates problems elsewhere. So really you're just Band-Aiding one problem. It's like, it's just going to lead to a bunch of other issues down the line, really. I was going to give you an analogy, but it totally...
No, I mean, I'm with you 100%. And it's there's something to be said for what you've done as far as, you know, taking the wheel, taking control of your destiny and taking ownership of your physical health, your mental health, and your nutrition. And the really cool thing about what you've done and what I've done a little bit, no, I would say not as much as you have. You've definitely, and I mean that as a compliment, by the way, really just being your own guinea pig and just truly using yourself as a test subject and figuring out, okay, this really works for me. And this is potentially transferable to my clients. And then this really doesn't work for me. And this is definitely not transferable, you know, and vice versa. So experience and injuries are, you know, I say they're a blessing in disguise. You know, they're great lessons in there that a lot of us, you know, if we're listening, we'll learn, but a lot of us, you know, it's hard to stop listening to your own BS.
Yeah, it's really easy to kind of fall into your own patterns. And I wish I could take the credibility for the guinea pig stuff, but it's just kind of happened the way it did. I ended up just having this whole slew of experiences, and I just take that with what it is. Really.
Yeah, you were just a guinea pig for life. That's all it was. It's called experience.
Yeah. The really cool thing I will say is because I have a twin sister, I try to see and connect the dots about like, if I did this, but I don't tell my sister, I wonder if we have the same response to certain things. And somehow, some way, man, that's just how life ends up. We have like the craziest similarities. Like I optimize my health in ways that, you know, probably she doesn't because she's not as into fitness as much as I am. And somehow we still have similar things happen to us. It's just crazy. Like now I understand like taking control of your health and be proactive about, you know, what you need to do to feel better and move better and heal. That's important. But at the end of the day, there are definitely certain things that are just in your biology. It's just going to happen. So that's one thing that's helped me appreciate is there's definitely two sides of that spectrum as well. I don't know how I got to that, but
no, I think that's awesome.
It's just a good conversation.
You mentioned control earlier when you were talking about, you know, eating disorders and wanting to cultivate order out of chaos, you know, when there's a lot of stressful things going on in life. And obviously when there's anxiety and any other factors, that just makes things harder, obviously. Right. I think it's, as humans, we're so prone to, obviously we love controlling things. We try to make sense of everything. And I think it's hard when we can't make sense of certain things. And I have found for myself, at least, there's a time when you can make sense of something, but then there are other times where you just have to just accept the fact that you can't. and just kind of move on from there. You're not going to have 100% clarity with everything in life, right? I mean, it's definitely not the case.
Yeah, definitely. Well, humans don't like uncertainty. We're scared of the unknown. So
Absolutely.
we're always trying to make sense of everything. But it's true, though. We don't know everything. We will never, probably never will.
That's right. To quote Magneto in the 2000 Bryan Singer X-Men, mankind has always feared what they don't understand. So
that's the truth.
It's true.
Oh man, yeah, it wouldn't have been a podcast without Marco bringing up the X-Men.
Yeah, it's got to be either X-Men, Avengers, or Batman. One of those. I was
going to say we were talking about Marvel earlier. Meanwhile, he's wearing a Batman shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, he's full Batman. He's a full.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Batman, but I also really love. I'm not one of those like DC or Marvel. I actually love both. I read both comics growing up. I was a fan of. I love all the characters. I think they're awesome. Tommy and I have certainly laughed about how some of the characters are really just different versions of the same person. Like Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are pretty damn close to one another. I would give a slight edge to Tony Stark on the one end because he's a lot more industrious. He's an innovator. He can build and design things.
Right.
But then you have Bruce Wayne's physical abilities, which are obviously, I would say much greater as far as his martial arts and his physical strength and whatnot.
Gotcha.
But still a lot of similarities. Honestly, the mech suit that Batman wears is like a really low tech Iron Man suit in a way. Which is really funny. So but I think it's just funny to think about some of those. So.
It's like it's actually just remember when Cap was like, yeah, take away the suit, what are you? It's like, yeah, a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Yeah, that's quite literally both of them.
Literally the same thing. Yeah. I mean, and I would argue it's kind of funny, both of their parents were killed too, right? Very tragically and very early. But let's be honest here, as much as I love Batman, I think I would rather be Tony Stark because his life is certainly more appealing.
So much better.
Seriously, though.
Everyone knows who he is. He wears nice suits. He's out and about. And
I'd rather hang out with him too.
Yeah. I mean, Iron Man 2, when he shows up at the expo and there's like all the cheerleaders dancing for him, like, come on, let's be real. Let's get out of here.
That's pretty awesome.
AC/DC playing in the background. You're like, this is awesome. Are you kidding me?
That was a good one. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne hiding in a cave, like, I don't know, kind of.
Speaking of Iron Man, my text tone is actually Jarvis. He talks to me every day.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
I found a way to make him say, "You have message." So
that's awesome. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
Oh no, you'll fit in. You fit in right here. I have a Harry Potter tattoo, for Christ's sake.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I have to thank you for forcing me to enjoy the Harry Potter world.
Okay, for the record, I didn't force it on you, but I just heavily pushed.
Yes.
Would you say that? Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't force it. You didn't put a gun to my head.
No, I did call you Hermione all through school, though.
You did. And you know what?
She's a fitness Hermione. That's who she was.
Fitness Hermione. I'll take that as a compliment.
It was. It is. It absolutely is. Just your hair is way better.
Oh yes, it's red now too.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So when we wrap up episodes, so I feel like we're getting to about that point. I think this would be a good tradition to finish off with some rapid fire.
Yeah, we did that last time. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Some rapid fire, and then you while we're doing this, you could quickly try to find a dad joke. If you can't, we could come up with one, but we'll wrap up with your dad joke.
Okay.
No pressure.
I mean, I have a punny joke if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's perfect.
We can have the cornier the better.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, I got one.
We'll throw that one.
Pocket.
Perfect. All right, DeMarco. So we're going to go rapid fire. We're going to alternate back and forth. Okay. And that mostly just to give us an excuse to think of a question while the other one's asking.
Yeah.
Nice.
So DeMarco, do you want to tee off or should I go first?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got an easy one. I feel like Star Wars or Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Iron Man or Cap?
Iron Man.
Matter girl.
Nice. Same question I asked last week, but I think it's a great one. X-Men or the Avengers?
Avengers.
Sure. How do you feel about Nickelback?
I just want to be a rock star like him.
That's a great answer. I love that.
Thank you.
That's going to be in my head the rest of the day now.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, that's a song that I sing to my daughter to get her to sleep. I think my singing is so terrible that it puts her to sleep, which is great. So
that's amazing. Or she's faking.
Or she's faking it. Exactly.
Oh man.
Batman or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Ah, there you go. Thor or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big Iron Man fan.
I can dig it.
I'll tell
I feel like
you,
this is too easy. The Justice League or the Avengers? I feel like I already know the answer.
Yeah, the Avengers.
Wait, yeah.
Wait, what were you saying, Ashley?
The number one for me would be the Hulk.
Why? I mean, that's not my question. I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, his superpower is the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So I just get me really pissed off and I'll just get stronger.
There we go.
It's a blessing, really.
It's true. Okay, fair. True. That actually made me forget my question. Oh, okay. Mexican or Chinese?
Chinese, hands down.
Nice.
Love Asian food.
That's awesome.
I can dig it.
So this just a really quick segue, and we'll get back to the question. Do you read comic books, Ashley? Are you a fan of the comics at all, or do you mostly just watch the movies and like the shows?
Mostly the movies. I have some comic books, not Marvel or
Nice.
Justice League, but I'm into that too.
That's awesome. If you ever get a chance, I'm not going to say anything about it, but read Planet Hulk and then World War Hulk, and you may love the Hulk now. You'll love him even more when you read that storyline, because they truly tap into his abilities. So that's all I'm going to say there. We'll kind of leave it there. So, Dan, Bruce Willis or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold.
Yeah.
Definitely Arnold.
Nice.
He's the OG.
He is.
Yeah.
Would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks? Wait, no, flip that around. A horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? These are the questions I throw out in a rapid fire.
The first one. The former.
You'd rather fight a horse-sized duck.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's a big beak, man. I feel like they get you that beak, you're in trouble.
I don't even like a normal-sized swan.
100 horses is a lot.
It's 100 duck-sized horses.
Bro.
I feel like they would trample you, though. I feel like they would easily trample you, though.
Yeah.
Because like Chompies in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I mean,
like the little...
Those things were scary as hell. Those things were scary.
I will say, if it was a goose, we'd have a different answer here.
Those things are just a regular goose. Those things are the devil.
Yeah.
Those things
totally
are evil. Yeah. Seriously. Plus, you have to worry about them trying to poop on you. So there's an additional.
I think you have to worry about that in all animals that we just talked about.
Yeah.
True.
So Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Harry Potter.
Okay. Nice.
I knew I liked you. I knew you were just.
They're so totally different. So it's not really a fair question, but it's just one I like to throw out there.
Yeah, I'm really not into Lord of the Rings. Coincidentally, people get really upset when I say that, though.
Well, I feel like
that surprises me a little bit
because they're so long, and it's a significant investment. So I can understand people not being as into it. I feel like there's, I feel like it's fair.
Thanks.
Oh God, I just had another one.
Hopefully we don't get a bunch of comments below going, "How do you not love Fellowship of the Ring, bro?"
I like a lot of other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've proven your nerddom, so no one can get upset with you at this point.
Appreciate it.
Who's your parents' favorite daughter? You or your sister?
They say there's no favorite, but I know for sure, hands down, it's my sister.
Oh, damn. Ouch.
Because I will say something and then they'll totally not believe me or argue me with it. But the second my sister says it, oh, yeah, really? That's so interesting. I believe you.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So
you're just in the back, just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's okay. I'll be here. You guys are ready to love me again. No, I'm sure they love us equally, but I definitely... low key.
I'm with you.
There's a slight edge, a slight bias.
I was also the troublemaker as a kid, so I get it. I really do. I was.
You were the troublemaker. You?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's gonna have to be a whole conversation. We'll talk about that next week.
So this isn't really a rapid fire. I mean, this is just, I'm just curious for this. When you were powerlifting, what were your best 3 lifts that you put up?
Oh, right. I had that question too.
I've been wanting to ask that for the last hour. I just kept forgetting.
So at the time, my best was my deadlift, which was 175. And I was, I think, like 120 pounds at the time.
So you're talking 175 kilos, correct?
No, this is just 175 pounds. I wasn't very strong.
Okay.
Yeah,
175 in freedom numbers. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I'm just
Freedom
making sure.
numbers.
Okay, awesome. Have you since bested that, or are you still kind of wanting to, or have your goals kind of changed?
I mean, I haven't tested my maxes in so long because it's not really my priority, but I do like 175. I haven't done on the straight bar, but the trap lift, deadlift, I do 175.
That's awesome.
6 reps now, so that's nice too.
So you're much stronger.
I always really applaud my clients whenever they hit their body weight deadlift and then they start to exceed that number, and then it's exciting to kind of keep reminding them, like, that's more than you weigh, and that's a cool, empowering thing to kind of remind them of. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's definitely empowering. I try to focus on the things that they care about too. Like sometimes clients just like, I don't care. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you look great today, So it really depends too. I do try to do that as well. I'm like, hey, you're getting stronger.
I love it. How do you feel about the Teletubbies?
I loved them so much as a kid.
Yeah.
So much.
So the baby son, creepy or really cute?
As a kid, I thought it was creepier, but as an adult, it's kind of cute.
I agree.
I think the Teletubbies are a little freaky now that I look back at it.
No, yeah, it's weird. It's you look back and you're like, this is interesting.
Yeah, like the crazy part is really that Simon Cowell was singing the intro. Of all people, Simon Cowell.
Yeah. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah,
I did not know that was Simon Cowell. I didn't know
Simon
that.
Cowell, yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Simon Cowell, he sings the intro to Teletubbies. He's like, it's like in the beginning he goes, "It's time for Teletubbies." It's him.
I know that. That's amazing.
That's the best. Oh my! I can't wait. I'm literally gonna go listen to that.
If I were one of the American Idol contestants, I would totally throw that right back at him. If he was like, "Yeah, I just your performance in this was really terrible." Like, dude, you sang the freaking Teletubby song,
right?
TTFO.
He'd probably backfire with something more snarky and
of course. And he's like, and I have more views than you. He have a comeback. Like
he's like, do you have a hot tub though?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know a bunch of weird fun facts though. Like ducks are rapists basically. Koalas give each other chlamydia. It's just the dumbest thing ever.
Well, I mean, so do we. So like we give that to each other too.
This is true.
We're just a bunch of koalas.
I do love random fun facts. I do have a lot of fun with those. So
yeah,
that was a good one.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, obviously want to thank you so much for your time. I really enjoy when people open up about life and about their experiences and struggles and what they've overcome. And I just think I think the more people that hear that over and over again, that similar kind of hero's journey theme and storyline, I think it's just the better. And it's going to hopefully inspire and empower more people to do that and overcome their own struggles. Where can people find you, online if they're interested in maybe doing coaching with you or want to check out what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm working on building a website. It's not out yet, but as of right now, they can find me on Instagram. My handle is _Ashley, ASHLEY, Farias, FARIAS _. So it's my first name and last name, but beginning and ending is an underscore.
Perfect. Oh, okay. Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. I guess you could find me on Facebook. I don't really, just Instagram is easier for me. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've definitely transitioned more over into Instagram too. I feel like it's just a little more user friendly, less politically and religiously charged too, which I've enjoyed.
I will say now it's a lot of political stuff now though. I don't know about religion, but definitely politically charging in there.
Yeah. But we're finishing on a good note, so we're not going to bring that up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Thank you so much for having me on. It's really nice to meet you, DeMarco.
Yeah, it's nice to meet
so
you.
nice to see you again. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, I think we can do next week. Well, I'll text you back, but next week works.
Sure. And then maybe one day I'll meet Sean and I can answer any questions you guys might have about, my internship experience. I know that was really
well, I feel like when we get Sean, we're just going to talk about Marvel for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's probably it.
I'm totally...
Yeah,
we should all watch the Winter Soldier before we talk again.
Yeah, absolutely. We do a debrief.
Absolutely. I'm down for that.
What were you going to say, Tommy? Sorry, I cut you off.
I forgot. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It happens all the time.
I do have my pun for you guys, my pun joke.
Yes, the punny joke. Yes, the dad punny joke. Let's do it.
It is so bad. What do you call an alligator in a vest?
An alligator in a vest. Oh, crap. I'm going to hate it, but I'm going to love it at the same time.
An investigator.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That qualifies. That counts as a dad joke.
That's
Thank
solid.
you very much.
Oh, my God.
Love my puns. That's the key to my heart. Chinese food and puns.
That's awesome.
I'm down for that.
I feel like that should be a shirt one day. I feel like I say it all the time, but I'm like, that Chinese food and puns, that should be a shirt. Or maybe the name of an album. Maybe that's an album name.
You could, yeah. I'm not a great singer, I'll tell you right now. But, if you want to pursue, I give you full permission to take that.
We'll just have it be an audiobook of poetry or something.
I mean, I know he's already singing Nickelback to his daughter, so I'm sure his vocal cords have gotten a lot of training.
Dude, I'm not even gonna hide it. I rock out to some Nickelback, man. I love it. It's not my only band I listen to, but I jam out to it.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, we believe you. All right. I guess that's it. DeMarco, you want to sign us off?
I just want to thank all of you so much for watching. We've definitely enjoyed doing the show. Got plenty more episodes coming your way, and we will see you next time.